They make them, we cover them, you sell them. Welcome to OEM Update, where we talk about everything you need to know about this year's vehicle model lines. My name is Megan Cusack, editor of Motorcycle and Powersports News. And now that the 2026 models are coming out, today we're going to be talking about the 2026 Polaris Sportsman 570 Premium 40th Anniversary Edition. This special Anniversary Sportsman ATV model starts at a base MSRP of $10,199. So, let's dive deeper into what exactly this vehicle has to offer. But for that, we're going to go straight to the OEM source. Returning today to give us an overview of the 2026 Polaris Sportsman 570 Premium 40th Anniversary Edition is Caleb Willi, Product Strategy and Planning Manager at Polaris. Caleb, thank you so much for coming back to speak with us today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be back. Excited to talk about ATVs at Polaris and the special edition that we're coming out with.
Now, as mentioned, Caleb is returning to speak with us, and last time he talked about the 2025 Sportsman Touring 570, so if you haven't already checked out that video, be sure to do so. All right, Caleb, so Polaris is celebrating 40 years of ATVs, which is a huge milestone. Can you tell us a bit about why, this anniversary is so important to you guys, and a bit of history about Polaris's contributions to ATV development over all this time?
Yeah, definitely. 4 decades is something to be proud of, and we're definitely proud of our ATV legacy here at Polaris. And looking back at some of the history that we have and some of those milestones along the way is something that's kind of fun and exciting, and it is something we're passionate about. So I'm happy to share some of those milestones along the way. If you think back, in 1985, it kind of all started with a three-wheel scrambler and a four-wheel trail boss. That was the kickoff of ATVs at Polaris. And we've had a lot of innovation since. You think about even like the Big Boss, which was a six-wheel vehicle with utility bed that was launched in 1989. And
Wow.
then we think through the mid 90s. That's where we got into what I'd call the sportsman era in the mid 90s when we came out with the Sportsman 500. And it introduced a lot of new things to the industry, like an automatic transmission paired right with a smooth four-stroke engine, full floorboards versus just the pegs that were pretty standard at the time. And then really a lot of the ease of use items that were on that vehicle, like single lever braking, along with that four-stroke engine, like I mentioned. But that really ushered in the modern era of ATVs and have become more standard. All of those things really paved the way for the industry today. And as we think about Polaris's role in that, we even had things like the Ranger UTV, and that debuted in 1998. Which in itself has been going for quite some time, but really
Right.
that's on the backbone of the innovation and the business that the ATV learning that we have from our customers happened in off road. That kind of morphed and parlayed into the Razor launch in 2007. So that started a whole new part of the off road business. But all along the way, we remain committed to ATVs as well. And a few of those highlights, even more close in here, was in 2000s. We came out with the Sportsman XP chassis. A lot of our dealers will remember that that was the time when we took the engine, a big bore 850 engine, and mounted it north-south in the chassis. And it gave an even sportier ride to even that big bore machine. And we've taken it even farther more recently with our 1000S models. That includes a 55-inch width, 14 inches of suspension travel, so even more performance. So you can see that we're just making a lot of those steps into how people use the machines, what they find valuable. And we're excited about continuing it on and keeping the ATV business strong.
It's amazing to see just how far ATVs, but Polaris ATVs in general, have come over the last 4 decades here. Really cool. So, speaking of those 4 decades, you guys now have this Sportsman 570, 40th anniversary premium edition here. Tell me a little bit about it. What makes this 570 model stand out from its brethren, all throughout the Sportsman lineup here?
Yeah, for model year 26, we wanted to make a celebration of this 4 decades of ATV innovation. And we set our sights on one of the best selling sportsmen of all time. It was really the start of this modern era. I talked about it a little bit, but we really honed in on this 1996 Sportsman 500. That was that first four-stroke, 4x4 all-wheel drive machine. And its legacy really lives on to today. So the machine that we're celebrating with now, the 570 40th Anniversary Edition, has some of those same hallmarks that that Sportsman 500 had, like on-demand all-wheel drive that's easy to use. It's got independent rear suspension with almost 10 inches of travel on it, and a great Polaris variable transmission, the PVT, just like that original had. But we wanted to also make it special and make it stand out a little bit. So you'll see on this machine, it has unique graphics to the 40th Anniversary Edition. It has this gradient pattern on the side panels that really harken back to that original machine. And then even some of the design elements on the side, like the three vents that were pretty iconic in the plastics of those original vehicles. We tried to bring that right into the look here. Overall, we wanted to make something that anybody would be proud to own, but something that would be extra special for those dealers and those customers who remember some of the heritage and the legacy that we had.
Right, absolutely. And can you go ahead and break down some of the specs of this vehicle for us?
Yeah, it's built on the premium trim that we have in the Sportsman lineup. So for model year 26, that trim really gives a lot of value add features to customers. This one will come with the badging and some of the graphics that we just talked about, but also this really nice automotive style tree line green paint. So that's a brand new paint for this model that we haven't ever offered before. And it's really to class up what was kind of that historic sage green plastic look with a really nice flake and a really premium look. But also comes with some premium features like a standard front bumper, 3,500-pound winch, front rear rack extenders that just make it a really nice overall machine and a good part in the Sportsman lineup that I think customers are really going to enjoy.
All right, excellent. And so historically, what have been some of the most popular accessories for like the premium sportsman models? Because as you said, it's already got the bumper, it's already got the winch, what doesn't it have that, customers might want for this model?
Yeah, it's really about making it more of what they're going to particularly use it for. Because exactly like you said, we have a lot of the really high value, high take rate items already on there so that the customer can get it at a good price. But then it's really about making it their own. So trail riders are really gravitating towards adding more storage, like a rear storage box that they can bring their trail essentials, maybe a tow rope for a competitive vehicle out on the trail. But also hunter and fishermen are bringing gun scabbards or like the Kolpin Rhino Grip claws to make sure they can bring their gear with them out into the field. Or even getting more heavy duty work done. So some of the utility focused accessories like a hitch for towing a utility trailer or the great plow systems that we have that attach really easily right to the bottom frame of the vehicles are always very popular.
Okay. So jumping on what you said there for a second, obviously I know you guys have like a sportsman for, everybody out there, one geared towards touring or hunting or, utility. Would you say that this anniversary edition is kind of just like something for everyone? You can take it where it needs to go?
Yeah, one of the reasons that we really chose this premium trim in the 570 lineup is that it's really a heart of a market vehicle. It has our great single cylinder 570 engine, 44 horsepower, is plenty for an exciting trail ride or getting work done. But it's also not some of the really aggressive trail riders who are looking for some of that 850 or 1,000 power. So it's really accessible to a broad array of customers. And then, like I said, they can really make it their own. So anything from using the machine around home and using it for chores or out trail riding, it's going to perform really well for a wide swath of customers.
Now, kind of a little bit of a broader question here. After 40 years and kind of seeing how ATVs have developed over this time and some of the innovations along the way, what do you see in the future for the ATV market?
I am excited about looking to the future of ATVs at Polaris, but across the whole marketplace. We know that the form factor of an ATV, the narrower width, how it fits in people's garages and frankly into their lifestyle, as well as some of the price points that people can get into it with new to off-road vehicle people, that ATV business continues to be strong. And we think that there's going to be a really strong fit and need for ATVs well into the future as we think about off-road. Our credo and what we take into work here at Polaris is to understand the ride experience, live the ride experience, and then work to make it better. We are continuing to do that all the time, and I'm excited about how ATVs fit into that, especially as we think about some of those new customers. We want to make sure that we continue to provide really value-packed options for customers who are new, so that we can keep this industry really strong and make sure that people can keep getting into the sport, and then sharing it with the people that they love, and how it fits into their lives. So expect to see from us across the gamut, the innovation across what brings value to those new customers, all the way up to some of the more specialized, higher horsepower, high performance machines.
All right, that's fantastic to hear. Last question for you. When can we expect to see the 40th Anniversary Edition, or, I guess most of the 2026 ATV lineup in dealerships?
Yeah. Broadly speaking, we're actually starting to ship throughout August and into September for the model year 26 lineup. This model in particular, dealerships and customers can look for mid to late September for when they start hitting dealerships.
All right, perfect. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, Caleb, and thank you so much for taking the time today to talk with us about the 2026 Polaris Sportsman 570 Premium 40th Anniversary Edition.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
For more information about its ATVs or to become a Polaris dealer, head to Polaris.com. And as always, like, subscribe, and stay tuned to MPN for more of the latest and greatest in motorcycle and powersports news.